Linda here. This year, a guest speaker came to our church with an inspiring and heartfelt story. I am not going to be using her name, and I am not going to be telling you the name of her country. And this will be a serial. It'll be in a few parts. Part 1 follows. Vi's story is really God's story. Vi was born to a very wealthy family. They were Buddhist and devout. She had one Christian friend, and this one Christian friend kept on, in her words, pestering her to attend her church. Finally, to stop her friend from pestering her, and because her curiosity was aroused, she snuck out and attended. Her parents found out, and she was severely reprimanded. She even had a curfew imposed on her, and she had to promise not to do that again. Shortly after she had this church experience, the country that she was living in, the government was taken over. Their family's wealth was stripped from them, and they even facing prison sentences. Vi got wind of this, fortunately, and escaped with the clothes on her back in a small fishing boat. Everything seemed to be going well when a storm arose, and their small fishing boat was taking in water and was possibly going to sink. The fishermen were asking their gods for help, and she was asking her gods for help. And they said to her, "Ask your God for help." And she said, "I've been doing so for hours." And then she remembered God, the God that she had heard about in the church service. She looked up to the sky and she said, "God, if you're real, help us. We need help now." Within the hour, a larger fishing boat arrived, and they were able to scramble on just before their own little boat sunk into the depths. Then they realized that all their food and water had sunk into the depths as well. The fisherman said to Vi, "Ask your God for food and water." So she looked up into the clouds and into the sky and said, "We need food and water, God. Thank you. I know you're real, and if you give us food and water, then I will do whatever you ask for the rest of my life." Within the hour, a ship arrived. She was able to go on this ship, and food and water was supplied to the fishermen, and they were on their way. When she got onto the ship, the captain said, "Where do you want to go?" And she said, "I want to go to Canada." He asked her, "Why do you want to go to Canada?" And she said, "I have an aunt and cousins in Canada." He said, "It's too cold in Canada. I'll bring you to Melbourne." She protested, saying, "I don't know anybody in Melbourne." We'll cut here and take up her story in the next episode. But I just want to share that my daughter in Melbourne, and it's summertime, is always telling me, "It's too cold, Mum." And the experience that my husband and I had when we were in Sale, we arrived about noon. It was 40 degrees centigrade, 104 Fahrenheit. Our air conditioner in the car packed up. So while we were waiting for it to be repaired, we checked into a motel. We enjoyed a lovely lunch and went for a swim, then went back to our room. About 6 p.m. we ventured out to have our evening meal. After our meal, we came out of the restaurant and I was being blown down the footpath. My husband rescued me, and within 5 minutes we were involved in a downpour. The temperature dropped to about 18 degrees centigrade. We were drenched by the time we got back to our room. Please, if you have had similar experience in Melbourne, whether you were visiting or whether you were living there, send me a comment or send me an email. Thank you for watching to the end and spending some of your day with me. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, and select all. And the next episode, when it's released, you will get a notification. Enjoy your day. Cheers for now. Linda.